To see somebody.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy, had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar, a straight-up omelet bar. And now look, my former interns tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what the moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
Yeah, you said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker. Let's roll. Oh, yeah. Break them off some. Yeah. Broadcasting live. Oh, man. On this 14 June 2020. Broadcasting from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. Man. Your host, Ice. Kind of like flipping around right now. Had a short notice event right now with my co-host, and so I'm flying solo. Oh yeah. But I got you guys and the gals in the chat, so no big deal. And of course your freaking phone calls and all that. What's up, Chris from Montana? No, Jim, there is no such thing as a bunny ranch for vets. You know, however, the Bunny Ranch did provide some discounts for veterans and military. I think there's like half off or something like that. Not that I would know. I just something I was heard. I mean, I heard about that. It was something about, it might be the aliens, but it was something about the aliens or something like that because it's in Nevada. So, I mean, not that I would know where that establishment is located, but Jim, that's you know, as a matter of fact, that's a good. Let's look it up. That's a good Google search. Bunny Ranch veterans. Let me see if we can find this here. Veteran discount. There we go. We'll start off. Oh, so in 2007, back when we were supporting the troops, I guess, there was the owner of the brothel Moonlight Bunny Ranch near Carson City. Free session, free ass, free sex. That was it. That was back in the day. It was a weekly newspaper. It was in the weekly news. Not that you were paying attention, right? Oh man. So how you guys doing? This is a Monday edition. Man, this has been a weird freaking news day, man. We have we have the president doing the G7 summit. We have Senate confirmation for the appeals court. Just a bunch of stuff going on. It just we have politics going on. We have people just start going on freaking getting busted and getting hijacked. We had somebody who was released from prison. I don't know if you guys heard about this. This ought to get you guys going. A reality winner. National Security Agency classified information leaker was released from prison. She served a sentence of 63 months and 3 years of supervised release is what she's going to have. So now everyone's like freaking out because she released classified. They're calling her a whistleblower and all that. You're not late, Recruiter Times. We just getting started. We had to do a real quick Google search for discounts at the Bunny Ranch, and come to find out that that there was free sessions. But man, I know. When I sitting there shooting the shit with Spanky and Mom, we have a lot of conversations when it comes to just about what was up with the whole thing. Some individuals are saying that Reality Winner was a hero. Some individuals say that Reality Winner was a traitor due to the fact that she had leaked classified information. The last time I checked, it's kind of like illegal to leak classified information. It's like mishandling classified information. Back in the day, used to just get you busted, right? I mean, you just you'd get slammed. You'd get in trouble. She's released. So she's been released from a federal prison. Her lawyer, Allison Grinter Allen, said today that she is thrilled to announce that Reality Winner has been released from prison, and she's still in custody in the residential reentry process. But we are relieved and hopeful, unquote. In 2018, a federal court sentenced her to 63 months in prison for leaking to The Intercept a classified NSA document about the Russian government's effort to interfere with the 2016 elections. I don't really think that we needed a fucking classified document to say that. We all knew that the Russians were going to get involved. We're going to talk Russians and Ivan in a minute. But we all kind of like, that was like a no shit. We kind of like, I don't know. I'm a simple man. I mean, I'm not a think tanker, and I'm not I'm not a strategery. Shout I heard you guys were talking shit about me last week. Hey, Cos, I see you. Sorry, had to throw my W out there. Although Winner had petitioned a former President Trump for clemency in February 2020, Allen said she has been released because of time earned from exemplary behavior while incarcerated, not a pardon and not a compassionate release of process. So after Winner was first sentenced, Trump tweeted his support for her. Wow, I didn't know that. I don't know who you. I don't. Can I? If I quote the former president, if I quote D. Treasy, am I gonna like get? Are we gonna get zucked? Because I know there's like a big social media. He hurt my feelings. / I can't. If he's mentioned by name, the name that shall not be spoken. It's kind of funny to see all the media pundits saying the former guy. They don't want to say the former President Trump. Is Facebook going to close me out? I just want to make sure I got the signal up, because I don't know if you say, it's like, if you say Trump 3 times or 5 times or some shit like that, then your social media accounts will fucking blank out. I just want to make sure we're straight here. He even said the ex-NSA... I'm not going to imitate his voice because I don't want to get sucked. So ex-NSA contractor spent 63 months in jail over classified information. Gee, this is small potatoes compared to what Hillary Clinton did. So unfair, Jeff. Double standard. Referring to the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. I can't thank him enough because 16 months, those words are so unfair, quote unquote, were actually not allowed by myself or my team or my family to say out in public. So I just can't thank him enough for finally saying what everyone else was been thinking for 16 months. What she said at the time. I don't know. You leak classified information, that's and you're a contractor. Isn't that's fucking prison time? Yeah, mean Pete's. Yeah, mean tweets. I did attribute it to him, but I can't. Yeah, the mean orange man tweets exactly that. I know people are gonna get mad and say like, "Oh, WTF Nation Radio was talking about," but deal with it. There's some. It's Christopher. I see you in there. Quote. He said, "Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice." And then he said, "Trump, Trump, Trump." I like a good troll. I like a good trolling. It just seems like lately people have been easily fucking triggered when you say, Trump. They don't want to even say in media terms the former president of the United States. Nobody wants to say that. You're gonna have to fucking face history. He was the president of the United States. And that was it. And like he got 2 Article 15s or some shit like that, or double impeached. I know we made fun of that shit last time, and then Cos did his show, and everyone got like a little, "Oh, you guys are bull." Hey, we're just reporting the news, man. That's what happened. That's what happened. But anyways, yeah. No, the Bunny Ranch stuff, we just finished talking about that. Yeah, anyone else? Yeah, exactly that. Anyone else lies just like freaking that Flickr and shit again? Yeah, exactly, man. We started talking about that stuff. You start talking about that stuff, and the next you know, people are going to get mad and say, oh, wow. So, anyways, so today, I guess over the weekend, we had the G7 summit. Okay, come on, guys. Honestly, give me your honest fucking assessment. What do you think fucking happened? People get triggered. You ain't trying unless you've been impeached. Exactly. People get triggered when you Branko. Exactly. Exactly, Branko. When you type in all caps, people freak out. People freak the hell out. Let's get really going. Think when the last election was clean. I don't even know when the last election was clean anyways, because the last time we had Bernie Sanders going through his shit. You know, the whole thing is that both parties right now are really just fucking up left and right. The Democrats and the Republicans, the GOP and the DNC. They're fucking up left and right, man. You are fucking up. Big time. Some of the speeches that were done at the G7 summit, what the hell was that all about? They were almost like, oh, look at how he was. Oh, dude, this is some serious shit. Is it not? I mean, supposedly, did he have a meeting with Russia? I don't know. I'm just catching the news right now, man. And I'm just a shit poster when it comes to this shit. I'm not gonna have a I'm not gonna get all stupid about it, but there were some corrections. There were some audio gaffes. I'm not gonna play that shit because then it's heartbreaking to see. Every time someone talked about how he was going to be able to speak, that trailing off speech shit, that's not a fucking conspiracy theory. That whole, come on, man, you know, or it's again, it's been 120 days, give me a break. What's up, media? How come you guys don't them softball questions and shit? It just seemed like everybody was kind of like, I don't know, just kind of like dick dancing around it. Now, they didn't say it was different. It wasn't as awkward as having the old, the last time when...
With CPI's new Video Doorbell Pro.
Oh, man, I'm all over the place right here. Had an ad pop up. When D. Treasy came by and did the G7 last time, everyone said it was kind of like, kind of awkward. CNN reports that, when President Biden and his aides are planning to return to the Cornish Coast for this weekend, including the president viewed it as something of a homecoming. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I'm not feeling it. And then we just had an announcement. Yeah, thank you very much. There was an announcement where they're going to try to, he said day one. He's in Brussels right now, and he's going to Geneva to meet Putin. Now, what just happened just now? Did somebody make an announcement? The Ukraine president says that now they're going to be part of NATO. And then the president said, remains to be seen, Ukraine will be part of NATO. The biggest contention between our government and the Russian government is what? Fucking Ukraine. And everyone's talking all this shit right before he meets Putin. Ivan. 120 days, he said one. The purpose of, what was that? It's the puppets of China meeting together to talk about how let China do China. In the old voice of old D. Treasy. spoken in the old voice. Yeah, it was I guess that was the freaking the Ukrainian president tweeted it out. Said that they're going to be part of NATO. Like they're ready to be in NATO. Ready to go. No decision's been made currently though to admit Ukraine into NATO. However, the president said straight up, commend NATO partners in understanding all the risks and challenges we face. NATO leaders confirmed that the Ukraine will become a member of the alliance. Straight up said that shit. Straight up. So it was a Twitter account by the Ukrainian president announces right before the Russian meeting. Right before the meeting with Putin. President Zelensky, yep. You guys are going to, are they gonna go and name a city in Russia called Putingrad? Yeah, exactly. Oh man. So what are your thoughts about this stuff? And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of like, I don't know. There was a lot of drama going on with didn't we just have, I was talking with some friends on the Twitterage. We had we had very large military formations there and stationed in Germany, and everyone said, "Nah, it's not going to be a big deal. This is this is old Cold War shit. We need to bring these soldiers home. We need to bring everybody home." So you had a couple divisions, a corps, come back from Germany at the time. It was the 1st Armored Division, and I think it was 3rd ID or 1st Infantry Division, and then of course 5th Corps, and U.S. Army Europe. So there was a large task force. There was, pretty decent size. All U.S. schools are now known as Putin. You guys want me to say China? You guys are going to get me booted off here. Again, I don't care. I really don't. I'm looking at all the stuff, seeing all the news, seeing what people are getting pissed off about now. People are getting so enraged and outraged about so much shit right now. It's almost at the point to where it's no longer news anymore. It's almost like how we've had... back in the, everything's breaking news now. You can't watch CNN, you can't watch Fox News, you can't watch CNBC, you can't watch any of them shits unless you see like breaking news, and you're like, God damn, dude, really? I'm done with it, man. I really am. It's kind of, it gets back and forth to the discussion of, oh, okay, well, what are we, what's new? What is new right now that's going to get us pissed off? Or what is new that whatever. The politicians ain't going to help your ass when it comes to whatever. We're still dealing with this pandemic shit, still dealing with, everyone getting vaccinated and all that. Currently, I guess there's some ERCOT in Texas announced that they're asking people now to conserve electricity through Friday because, it's hot. We conserve power. Because we can't handle it. We can't handle the cold. Okay, cool. All right. Well, then we can't handle the heat. No. Don't do that. No. What's up, Heath? Exactly that, Jim. The whole world we live in right now is straight up. You have people who think they fucking know it all about how people are living when they're living in their fucking high towers and just looking down, nosing at the citizenry, man. It's just fucking. I'll laugh my fucking ass off when I hear about this shit. And they have individuals getting mad, like you're really gonna fucking do something about it. You can't fucking vote for it. Because they're all together. Like I said, the GOP and the fucking the Democrats. Damn, they're just both fucking. They're both fucking worthless. Worthless. Congress is worthless, man. It's really worthless. I just get fucking tired of it. You just see it, you see it. No big deal. It's fucking you pay some taxes. You not pay some taxes. There's been a big leak of individual billionaires. It was leaked that they didn't pay any taxes. They didn't pay taxes at all. So now everyone's up in arms and they want to demand an investigation on why nobody's paying taxes. Texas is becoming California with their shitty power grid. Yeah, it's frustrating. It is frustrating. Congress wants to go ahead and have an investigation of individuals that were. How did this information get out? They want to know right now. How did this information get out? How did this information get leaked? How do these tax forms got out? Dude. The Putin Center of Excellence. If I could find a way to pay less in taxes, I'm doing it and have no issue with people finding legal loopholes. And that's another thing too, is it legal loopholes? Is it legal? We all need to know. What was it? Where's my Pookie comment at? I need to see it. Anytime the word taxes come up, there's supposed to be a comment in there. Pookie's supposed to shoot in the chats, and I haven't seen it yet, so I'm kind of like just waiting around for him to say it. I haven't seen it yet at all. Hang on. Give me a second. You can get a little bit for the delay to happen. Hang on. There it is. No, it's not it. I was going to say it for you, Pookie. Taxation is theft? tax records. Let me look at this up right quick. There we go. So it was ProPublica. And Mitch McConnell got all pissed off and said he criticized the leakers of sensitive tax information. Is it okay if I quote him? Can I there you go, Holly. Can I make fun of make fun of Senator Mitch McConnell? Can I make fun of him? Will I get zucked if I make fun of him? Here's what he said. Here's my imitation of Mitch McConnell. Well, these people whoever did this ought to be hunted down and thrown in jail. There, how was that? Was that a good Mitch McConnell? ProPublica reported how high earners have avoided paying a substantial amount of income taxes. Mitch McConnell of Kentucky on Monday said that he called for legal action against anyone who is responsible for leaking the tax records of the super wealthy to ProPublica. In a recent report from ProPublica, the publication that details how billionaires such as Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Warren Buffett have largely avoided paying a substantial amount of income taxes, the report cited an anonymous source who provided the publication with large amounts of information on the ultra-wealthy. Everything from the taxes they paid to the income they reported to the profits from their stock trades. In an interview on a conservative host, Hugh Hewitt radio show, McConnell rebuked the disclosure of the tax records of some of the most affluent Americans in the country and called for consequences for the perpetrator. Mitch sounds like still not over how you all acted over the toilet paper. You ain't lying. Yeah, he does. Mitch McConnell does sound okay. So here's my next impression of him. Okay, here he is talking about the IRS. In my best Mitch McConnell voice. My guess is that. Oh shit! Hang on. I think I got somebody calling me in there. Hello.
I'd like to request a song. First time listener, long time listener, first time caller.
Lost time caller, first time no listener.
Play some Milli Vanilli.
Well, no, it would be silent then because you play it or you're singing it. What's going on, man?
Tax loopholes.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
I think when you were talking about tax loopholes, it's not like they're gaming the system,
but
is legal. When you have a tax code that's hundreds of thousands, am I overestimating that, of pages long, you're going to find a lawyer out there that can go, hey, or an accountant out there that says, hey, but you can write off your cat Muffy because she's in the same room when you're making a business phone call. Is that stupid? I mean,
it is. No. I mean, a lot of the tax write-offs, it's used as a business expense. You know what I mean? Everything's a business expense. I'll just business expense. I don't know.
Got a way to fix all of it.
But what's that?
No matter how much money you make, 15% of it goes to the government. Period. No write-offs. It's a one-page tax document.
Go on.
And then it's up to the damn government to figure out how to spend that in the most efficient way possible.
Now,
15%. If you have a lemonade stand and you're a kid, okay, you get a pass. But if you work at Walmart, you work at Lockheed Martin, you make the gajillions of dollars that we don't make here on WTF Nation Radio. Whatever money you make, you 15%. Someone gives you a 1099 at the end of the year that says you made $50,000. Well, you pay 15% in taxes. 15% of that.
Off the bat, no matter what.
No matter what. No more, no less.
Okay, and so on 15% of that, how do you manage Medicaid and how do you manage Social Security, yada yada? Was that all included? Or
the
what? Thing
is, we Americans have elected people that have gotten us so deep into social programs, handouts, freebies, what have you. I'm not saying Medicare and all that stuff needs to be done, but all that crap was paid for through payroll taxes. Am I wrong?
No, I'm not. I'm not disputing. My biggest thing is that
we have a spending problem.
I was about to say, yeah, exactly.
Taxation problem. We don't have a taxation problem at all. We have a spending problem in Washington.
Right. They tried. They proposed a. I guess this was back in May. They had proposed a global minimum corporate tax rate of 15%, and this is one of those. It was Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that an establishment of a global minimum rate would help halt the race to the bottom globally for tax rate. I go ahead.
There shouldn't be a global anything.
There you go.
If you're in the United States, you take care of your people. If you're in Russia, you take care of your people. If you're in China, you take care of your people. You take care of your own. If there's more left over, I mean, the United States of America is one of the richest nations ever. And we're extremely giving as far as, look at all the damn money that we're just giving away to not Americans. India for whatever sexual studies and donkeys or whatever. I'm just making that stuff up.
I know. Service members actively serving in the military shouldn't have to pay taxes. I'll one up you on that one, Jason. I don't think anybody who raises their right hand should pay any fucking taxes if they're active duty, reserve, National Guard, even. No. I think if you pass like a specific amount of enlistment, I think that's when you should be exempt from it. You know what I mean? So, I
would leave that as a minimum.
Right, exactly.
Once you pass 10 or 12 years, let's say.
Yeah.
Once you reach the halfway point of a career, then yeah.
Yeah, I totally, because, and if you served in a combat zone, if you deploy, you don't have to pay for life. If you're disabled or something like that, it should be. A lot of this stuff is fucking easy when it comes to veterans and a lot when it comes to other shit. But when it comes to, like, what about doctors? What about lawyers? What about, you know what I mean? What, or tradecraft and shit like that. I just don't see. Because right now, U.S.-based companies currently pay at 21%. That's like slashed. That was slashed during the
6 or 38, right?
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Now the top rate had been like 35%. So. Under the president's proposal, a tax rate would be like lifted to 28%, and a plan to raise levies on both companies and the highest earners. That's why I'm thinking of the reason why Mitch McConnell got pissed off at who was leaking all this shit, because I think both parties are on the take for these big corporate, non-paying tax individuals. If that makes sense.
Well, look at pull up any company and look up their campaign contributions. They give fairly equally to both parties. They play both sides of the.
Oh, hell yeah, they do. That's why I got a little frustrated earlier trying to spit out, fucking both parties fucking suck. Because they're all in bed with each other. And I keep going. I keep using the divorce analogy only because I am a divorce enthusiast. And I've attended the Divorce Center of Excellence. That the lawyers that are dealing with, you've been divorced yourself, you know that the lawyers are all talking to each other before they sit you down, before they talk to their clients. They sit down, they both talk to each other, and they go in and deal with the clients, especially if it's like a custody case or something like that. And then they'll end up going, they'll go fucking play golf together. I've overheard them talking when I'm waiting on cases. When I used to, walk with my soldiers or help my soldiers down at the courthouse, I would overhear them talking. And in my case too. Or I should say cases, but
Volume 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have the ICE doctrine.
You start naming doctrines.
Yeah, we start naming case precedent. Case precedent you bring up to the Supreme Court when it comes to divorces. But the whole point is that they're all talking to each other, and like you were saying, they all have those contributing pockets, all that fucking pork. They all have those attachments. They all have those riders. They all have everything that. I'm not going to pass this or unless we do this and attach this. Okay, yeah. And they're all, at that point, it's almost like they forget fucking party at that point.
If you're getting divorced, and you're going to take it to court, the only people that are making money are the lawyers.
Right.
When I got divorced, when my wife and I decided that we were going to get divorced, we kept it out of court as much as we could. We came up with an agreement. We had it written in legalese, and it was signed off by a judge. I think it was like $150 or $200 total.
Yeah, same.
Going to the courts.
Right. Well, I mean,
between me and my wife, we took care of the kids.
Right.
Everything was on the up and up.
Yeah, I trying to think which one. God damn.
Do you have flashcards or something?
What to say? Hang on. I have my. They're like, one of them. Which one? But no, you're right. I mean, there's. I would say I have experience. How about that? I can just say that I have experienced the out of court and not having to deal with the court BS. You know what I mean? And it works out so much better that way. And you know, the only time I think I've ever had some serious lawyer help is when it came to some of the maneuvering of the legalese in the state that I was in that required that a lawyer represent me. You know what I mean? Especially for when it comes to that. It's just like kind of like, ugh, it's fucking frustrating. But especially for some cases that have different ways of custody, how they deal with it. You know what I mean? People's situations are different. Right. And not everybody can just deal with it out of court. I mean, sometimes there's really bad blood. Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's usually, and then once there's bad blood in the court system, which is, I don't think it's equitable to begin with anyways, when it comes to dealing with custody and all that, you really have to have you have to have so much emotion out of it, or else it's going to be a bad divorce, especially when it comes to custody, man.
Yeah. And don't alienate the other parent. I don't care if you're the mother or the father. Don't alienate the kids from the other parent.
Yeah.
That's a dick move.
Yeah, it is. But the point being is that you just think about it that way. Think about it. The American people, and the American people are both the husband and the wife, or the partner, because, you know, some states recognize same-sex marriage. And guess what? It's the same thing. We're like going through divorce, and Congress is you know what I mean? They're the ones that are dealing with your divorce. Except you're continuously getting screwed by having to pay alimony or taxes. You know what I mean? It's fucking frustrating, dude. I hate seeing this every time, especially when it comes to some of the bills that we've had pass, and then you hear about, oh well, the filibuster this, gerrymandering that, and I'm just thinking, can these guys like not ever, you know what I mean? Not ever just agree on anything. My biggest thing is that I hate the fact that individuals that talk about wanting to have new ideas, and they make fun of boomers. You know, the millennials make fun of boomers, and yet they re-elect the same individuals that could be their parent. There could be the boomers' parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
40, 50, 60 years in office, and you really fucking think that there's going to be a difference in that shit. That's just frustrating me.
Term limits, baby.
Oh man, you ain't lying. I don't know if we do term limits. What would be what's the good time to do it or not do it?
I think Congress gets they go through elections every couple of years, every 2 years.
Yeah, I think the same thing. Congressional, you're talking about the midterms every 2 years. It's like always an offset between the presidential election.
Yeah, I'd say 3 election cycles, and you're gone. Now, what about the congressman that wants to run for a Senate seat? Are they just going to trade seats? Senators become congressmen become senators? There's got to be something written in there that says no. Your federal public service is 3, let's say 3 terms.
Right. Well,
so let's want to run for president, and that's kind of something different. But you can't just stay in a legislative branch for your entire adult life.
Right. It's almost like when you get promoted and you get selected for a command, you can't go to a different, like once you've done battalion command, and then you've done brigade command, then that's it. You can't go any further. That's it. You can't run it again. You know what I mean?
Is it an up and out thing for that as far as commands?
Yeah, it's for yeah. I mean, it's you can't have like for instance, if you're on a staff and no big deal, and you get selected, I think it's like, I mean, back when I was before it was you were 2 times in and then 1 time or 2 times up and then nominative, and that's it. So that there's
a company commander, you might do a lateral to another company, but within a couple of let's say you do 3 years at a company command at Fort Hood, and then they said, hey, we have an opening for another company command over here at Bragg. So you go to Bragg, but it's like, dude, if you don't get into the battalion or brigade level, then sorry about it.
And that's if you get selected for what they call it, CGSC, or to get promoted to major. That's if
Staff.
you get Command General Staff College, or ILE. So that's a whole nother ball of wax too. And the same thing, it's almost like, it kind of sucks though. I mean, I know we're getting off the subject of Congress. We're talking about rank. Sometimes that up and out bullshit sucks because you really have some great tenure and you have great experience leaving, and it takes a lot to get leadership to get trained up. It's not as
there are some good politicians out there that have done really, really good, and they're not on the take, and they're doing things for their constituents.
Right.
But lay the groundwork for the next person to come in and take over.
Now, if they're the same party, yeah.
You're going to get some bad ones. You're going to get some good ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it was just like command. Just like you're going to have bad leaders or bad first sergeants, you're going to have bad CSMs. But the thing is that if you have laid the groundwork and it's within your party, then that's it. I think at that level, if you want to better the country, you can come almost like give them like a read-ahead packet, even if you lose to the other party, and say, here you go. Here's what I was working on. May not be good for you, or may not be what your party's doing, or whatever. But here you go. Here's my I Love Me book. You know what I mean? Of what I was doing, and thanks. You know what I mean? There we go. But it's just it's just fucking frustrated. I get literally tongue tied of frustration when it comes to this, because you have these many seats, House and Senate seats, and then there's been seats that have been lost. It's just like when you vote. It's funny is that right now the election security and voter was people are saying they're being disenfranchised when it came to voting. I just think back. I rarely throw this up, but as a minority, I don't like saying that much, but I am considered a minority. I didn't really find it difficult to vote, either for the congressionals and the president. You know what I mean? It didn't. I don't know. It didn't seem that like it was hard for me to do. It didn't really seem like it was hard to get something in the mailer, sign it, mail it back, send it through specific districts and precincts, mail it back, and then go. Okay, you gotta go vote. And then you go vote, and then you ask me for your ID card. That way, make sure that's verifying that that's your card. Yep, that's me. That's you. All right, cool. You go in, do your checking, and then you check you're done, and then you drop your ballot, and then that's it. I didn't feel like it was, I didn't feel like pressure. I feel like they're going to stop me from voting, if that makes any sense.
Never felt that way. I've stood these last couple of election cycles. I've stood in lines, even for early voting.
Right. There's
been a lot of people out, but it's never been impossible or exhausting. It's super easy.
That's what I'm saying. It just I don't know. I would like to know what the difficulty. No one can. And again, I'm but a simple man. I'm not very educated, and I just want it. I want it broken down to me to where I can understand and have it articulated to me what the real issue is when someone says why they can't vote.
They just throw out that big word disenfranchisement, and it's like, oh my gosh, that sounds horrible.
Right. And and I do speak to other family members. And in my family, it's like both the same thing. It's both sides. They're like, oh, it's just feeling disenfranchised, and you're preventing people to vote. And then I immediately hone in on, some of my family members that talk about that, and they go, what's hard about it? What did you not do?
Well, this new thing in Texas, I think what they want to do is they want to make sure that you are who you say you are. You live in the district that you say you live in, and you vote only one time. That's all. They don't want convicted felons that haven't finished their sentence. They don't want to give them the right to vote. Right. The incarcerated felons or anybody who's in jail, you don't have the right to vote. if you don't live where you are voting, or in that precinct, or for whatever election cycle it is, you don't get to vote.
Right. Well, only one time.
And one time.
Yeah.
Yes.
My thing is that I look at I mean I do because probably the reason why people think when I ask questions that I'm being sarcastic or I'm being I really want to know, because I don't get their I don't get either side's mentality on like overdoing it, like or how stupid it gets, or how stupid the argument gets when reasonable people think that some of the things that you have to do that require specific laws to do, why wouldn't it affect, you know what I mean? It's like I have to show ID to buy booze. I have to show ID to fucking, you know what I mean, to like cash a check. It's just not like one of those things to where it's fucking, it's not difficult. And I'm a fucking minority, fucking left and right, up and down saying it. Say, oh well, sorry, it's not you. It's, you can't, even when I'm speaking Spanish or I'm speaking with some family members in an environment, I still get ID. I mean, Texas. I mean, I got ID in Texas. I got ID in Kansas. I got ID in Colorado. I got ID. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Okay. It didn't bother me. I don't know, man. It just, I don't know. Maybe just this. Do you have to feel a certain specific way to want to be fucking just immediately overreacting and say, oh, if you do this, then you're not. Oh, you're fucking being disrespectful. I mean, I have people white knighting for me. No pun intended. Ken, you should feel this way. Well, why? Because don't you feel like that you're being what? Tell me what I'm supposed to be feeling. No, I don't. I fucking
being gaslit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know what they were trying. I'm trying to get them to tell me what they what I want. I know what they're trying to say. They're trying to say that I'm being. Come on, Ken, don't you know you're supposed to like just fall in and I don't need your fucking help. All this fucking talk going back and forth of who's saying what or who's saying this. Yeah, the reasonable person doesn't give a fuck. They don't. Oh,
what was really cool is Texas got rid of straight party line voting.
I don't know.
And I like that too.
I didn't know that. What can you explain to the audience what that is? I mean, I heard, but I didn't know. I didn't even know that.
It used to be you can just go in there and vote for all Republican candidates, or all Democrat candidates, or all Libertarian candidates. Now they just say these are the candidates, these are the parties that they represent, and are you vote for them or vote against them.
Yeah, I think you can do that in like Florida too. I think Florida, and I think you can do that.
You have to. You didn't have to vote straight party ticket,
yeah.
But if an election comes up, I know a couple of judges, so when they're running, I'll vote for them because I know them, I'm experienced with them.
Right.
Or a senator or a congressman comes up for re-election or whatever, or our mayor. We just changed mayors in Fort Worth. Betsy Price decided not to run again, so she said, okay, I'm not going to run again. Maddie Parker is who I endorse. I looked her up. I'm like, she's pretty solid. She's like 36 years old. She's like the youngest. She won the election. She's the youngest mayor of Fort Worth.
Really?
Just I will not vote for anybody that I know nothing about.
Right. No, I hear you. And you notice though on your card though during the presidential election were the same people that were on as the local jurisdictions and Congress were also on the your ballot for president and vice president or presidents. You know what I mean? Did you see that when you voted in this last presidential election? You don't have to tell me who you voted for, but did you see your candidates for president and vice president? And then did you see below? Did you see the other jurisdictions and congressional seat or whatever seats and shit like that represented? Did you see that on your ballot? Was all the same? Was it all
Yeah, everything's the same.
Okay, so why is it different than when it comes to voter integrity? You know what I mean? That's the reasonable person mentality that I'm stuck at. It's like, okay, so you're telling me that person should get a recount or that vote isn't good, but the individuals that were elected in either party doesn't matter are saying that they're good. You know what I mean? It fucking just boggles the mind that all this political media crap, when it comes to this,
there's a victimhood out there that
oh my god, dude.
I think both parties pander to
big time,
one more so than the other. But it's like, you are so oppressed. You need me to help you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The white knighting shit. You know what I mean?
That just makes me sick.
Yeah. Just, oh, stop. You need to. I get that all the time. Well, because I have, fucking. How do you think I feel when I have Univision fucking hit me up and shit? No, I shouldn't say they're okay, but I'll have Spanish speaking people call me up and talk about who you're going to vote for, or why are you voting for during the campaign, during the election, and I would like, I so wanted to fucking record it, but I don't, at the time I didn't even think about it, but I thinking back, I'm like, I should have recorded these guys. And I would say, okay, well, so what's going on? And they're like, well, they're trying to do this, and it's almost like how the NRA scares you too. With their, you're gonna get your guns tonight. You know what I mean?
that is horrible. The evangelical vote is another something that just makes you sick. Yeah, the Lord wants you to vote for someone. Does he really?
Exactly. I was talking to the Lord the other day, Cos, and he said you should vote for him now. Well, who's his? Well, the Lord said it's this, and don't take the virus. don't take that shout. you're gonna get 5 G's and particle spreads as soon as you walk into a room. What the hell are you talking about?
You will become magnetic.
Exactly. Did you see that fucking case where somebody said that you're gonna get magnetic for taking the shot?
Yep.
What kind of horse shit is that?
You're sticky. That's why things. Take a shower.
Right, dude. Yeah, that's why you nasty ass. Oh my God, I can't. That whole fucking. Oh man, you do this. Oh, you're gonna. Oh, you better watch out. And people like fucking. There's like, there was an Ohio doctor that said that they did a false testimony about magnetic COVID vaccine, and people freak. Well, obviously, if you think about that stuff, you're just adding to the shit. You're adding already to the fuel to the fan, to the flames when it comes to already. To the people that don't want to take it or do want to take it and all that, just messing around with some of my friends are like, okay, I don't feel good. And I'm like, you got robbed. I can see sound now. You know what I mean? I play along. I don't, no, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to get like double magnification like Magneto from fucking X-Men.
Really, I'm still waiting for my night vision to come in.
Right, dude. I want to disappear like Predator.
Right?
Oh my God, it was just fucking hilarious when I see people. It was just.
I kind of feel bad for the electorate at large, just because, especially in the larger cities, because there's the selling the notion that you are a victim,
right?
And then people actually believing, well, hell yeah, I'm disenfranchised, I'm a victim,
right? Well,
of this. The other thing,
or they'll say you're a victim of this, and then you start thinking like, really? Well, what am I a victim of? It's because of this, because of that, because of this, and holy shit, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, now sign here. You know what I mean? And would you like to be part of this? And this is what you need. I'm not thinking, oh my fucking God, dude.
That's why you got to vote for Beto.
That's what exactly. Come on, Ice. You're Latin X. That fucking pisses me off too.
Is that Latinx or your Latinx?
Latino. I don't know what the fuck it say, but it's not Latina. It's not Latinx, man. It's Latino.
How do you say X in Spanish?
I always tell my non-Spanish speaking friends is just like when you spell Oaxaca, there's that X in there in Oaxaca. Oaxaca. It's spelled Oaxaaca. Oaxaca. And they got me all fucked up now. But that's how you would look at how the X would be. This is a real quick, Latin and Triple X is a good website.
Dear nation, we're all Latinx now.
Exactly.
Latinx.
Oh man, but I don't like that. It's not even. It's like made up fucking language. It's like made up shit. It is something that people are trying to use as a gender neutral term when it's not spoken that way. It's not. It's not spoken that way. I mean, I can get into the other, the philosophical, and as a matter of fact, if I wanted to be something like that, they could say you're being oppressed by them calling you Latinx. You know what I mean? I could do the same thing.
You're allowing them to label you,
right? Yeah, exactly. See, exactly that. When you say that. That's they're like using their oppressive, you know what I mean? It just
or the notion that just because you're white, you're a conservative, and just because you have black skin means you're a Democrat.
Right. Well, I mean,
so they marginalize the whites and the blacks, and then they go and pander to the Latin community.
Well, it's almost like, you know, it gets to the point to where it's to some Latinos and Spanish speaking individuals. They're like, why are you colonizing our language? It's immediately it's like no. You're trying to say that that's bigoted in itself by trying to say that. You know what I mean? It's not. It's Latino.
The thing down here is, you know, this used to be Mexico,
right?
And Americans stole Mexico from the Mexicans.
Right.
Well, there was war and we took land. That's why wars were fought back then.
Right. Exactly. Oh my God! Just speaking of, there's a big kerfuffle about fucking Santa Anna, and the war, the Mexican Revolution, the battle for Texas, and all sorts of shit. The Battle of San Jacinto, and you know how Santa Anna's troops were fucking. You know, they decided to rack out. They didn't implement a security plan when they're, you know what I mean? It's part of patrolling tactics is you implement a rest plan, but you always got to pull security, right? Always make sure you have rovers. Well, General Santa Anna's men did not. And so when Sam Houston showed up and was like, oh shit, they're fucking asleep.
A bunch of medics just whacked them.
Yeah. They were outnumbered too. And so somebody fucking decided to say that was racist. That was like a war crime because, you know, they were captured at a you know, with their pants down, like, you know, in a freaking retort, you know, sense. But Jesus fucking Christ, dude, you don't. No, that's war.
So when the Viet Cong jumped out of their little hidey holes, was that cheating or were they protecting their homeland?
Yeah, really. Yeah, so you don't get started on that because we're about ready to get out.
What's the topic?
What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about taxes. Yeah. So real quick, it's just like people were getting mad. I just jump on this, and like I said, in my most recent travels, and that's what I decided to, you know, picked up, is that there's people that are pissed off at the 1836 project, saying that, you know, they want to kind of like empathize with General Santa Anna, that they're saying that, you know, fucking that was, you know, don't fucking. You got them when they're napping. You're napping. They're napping. You shouldn't do that, man. It just blew me away that they were trying to say that was a war crime for war, when it's like 100% completely, I don't know, within the Geneva Convention.
So when you're doing war stuff, that's bad during a war?
You got to kind of have to do war things when you're doing war of excellence type shit. You know what I mean? I mean, that's one of the rules of patrolling. One of the principles of patrolling, you got to set up security. Always implement a rest plan, but you always got to make sure you set up OPs, set up rovers, pull security. Never have more than 50% of your forces fucking asleep. That's it. And that's simple. Almost fucking 1,800 fucking men, and you mean not one of them pulled fucking guard duty? They were all asleep.
There's a bunch of E4s just trying to poop.
Exactly. Oh shit! It's time to go to sleep. I think I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. So, anyways, we're gonna go. We're gonna take a break. So, everyone stand by. We'll be right back.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
These arms away, nothing feels the same. Let it all be
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Part 2 of the Monday edition. Man. Just real quick news updates and discussion and commentary of all news events. Some
that
opinion
may not be related to the initial topic.
Yeah, that'll be exactly that could sway off into other tangents. Oh man. Joining me right now is Cos. Thank you, Cos, for hanging out and shooting shit. But in other news, there's like a rattling right now when it comes to terms. You know, when we talk about Latinx and we talked about Latino, there's a term that Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer apologized for today.
Matt Damon.
He said retarded. And it was a reference to developmentally disabled children during a podcast interview. Schumer used the outdated term during a segment of Sunday's episode, One New York CH, one NYCHA podcast regarding the congressional efforts to combat homelessness. And when the co-host mentioned some initiatives for sheltering homeless people that have faced some resistance in New York City, Schumer brought up the Biden administration's proposed America Rescue Plan, and as well as his own past experience as a politician when encountering opposition to housing proposals. Then he said that when I was quoting, this was him quoting it, I'm quoting what he's saying. I don't know how to imitate his voice. You're not going to get a Chuck Schumer imitation out of me.
It's the same as what's that other
the other
from Kentucky?
The other guy, Mitch McConnell.
But it's with a New York accent.
I couldn't even know how to do that because I have to work on my accents. I'm trying to say, when I was president of Assemblyman, you know what I mean? How would I say that in a New York accent?
This is just an old, outdated politician.
Exactly. And another outdated politician. So he said, quote, when I first was an assemblyman, they wanted to build a congregate living place for retarded children, unquote. Continues to say that the whole neighborhood was against it, and these are homeless kids. They just needed some help. We got it done, and it took a while. So the word Schumer is widely considered outdated, with some sources referring to his usage as a slur. In 2010, former President Barack Obama approved Rosa's Law, which replaced the term with mental retardation with intellectual disability in a federal law or policy. A representative for Schumer has said that he apologized for his word choice, acknowledging that it was inappropriate and outdated. And for decades, Senator Schumer had been an ardent champion for the Enlightened policy for full funding of services for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. That's what his spokesman said. He is, quote, sincerely sorry for his use of the outdated and hurtful language, unquote. So
he's 70 years old, and that word was probably very common in his vocabulary as a younger man, and that's just, he was speaking off the cuff. He probably could have, since he's a professional politician and he spends a lot of time in front of the camera, he probably should have chosen. He's able to choose different words. He should have made that choice.
Right.
I don't like the guy, but I'm not gonna crucify him for saying that.
Right. Now the term, I don't like the term anyways. That's just me. You know what I mean? But the term going out, and it's you know, it was used as a slur. I always saw there was always been the technical / medical reference to it. You know what I mean? Before it became, I guess you would say, in mainstream language, to say, you know, he
was being descriptive. He wasn't name calling.
Right, exactly. You know, because there's you know, if you've ever been in a big rig vehicle, or if you've ever been in a power plant, isn't there in aircraft also? There's like a what's the name? It uses retarded for throttling, and it uses for I'm trying to remember. Well,
the throttle.
Yeah, it's something. It's some term. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic or not what, but I've heard the term before in mechanics. And then of course I've heard it in the description of in medical terms, which is now, I guess now it's been changed according to Merriam-Webster as a slur. I'll be honest with you, just the term using it already, I was not comfortable when it came to kids. I always, you know what I mean? It makes, I always, mentally handicapped or the other term would be like, especially if it's a child with Down syndrome or something like that, it would be descriptive as a child with Down syndrome. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's hard to, because there is I have friends with children with Down syndrome, and they're the most sweetest, adorable little ones, and their family members, they're adorable as hell. And just that term right there, just kind of like, I kind of think of my friends. Does that make sense? Now, like you said, and during his time, when he was younger, he probably said that as not intended as a slur. But
I don't think he meant any malice.
Right. Because then individuals were like immediately, oh, he better atone for what he said, and he better, which
clutching of pearls. We're gonna get
clutching of pearls. Let's see.
That sentence probably would have been panned if he would have been talking about Justice Breyer or President Trump or anybody in an opposing party, calling retarded or whatever. It would have been just passed by.
Right. No, you're right. Well, Jim's like, Jim's dropping a freaking paragraph in the chat. See, the word retard placed the word moron, idiot, cretin, and imbecile, and when people started using these words to insult people, they had to change it to retard because they started saying retard instead of the other ones, and now retard is offensive, but at the same time, 4 other words are no other is near insulting or changing words to make people feel. Have you ever been on social media, dude? When you've seen people going off? Just go on to any Facebook post. Just go on to anybody or Twitter account or Instagram. That they're calling there's individuals calling each other names that are savage when it comes to moron. Oh, he's a moron or he's an imbecile. It's like that all the time. But
go on. If you want to be offended or be offensive, go on Reddit and say something counter to what the
Redditor says.
Whatever everybody else was talking about.
Yeah, you could, dude. All you have to do is go on Reddit and say, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I'm just saying I don't know. Why do you mean you don't know? No, I mean, like, you just automatically feel the tone of everybody going, oh my God.
But it's just like in politics right now. They want to. This is all hypothetical. One of the parties wants to pass a bill to feed more starving children. But the bill is just laden with pork, and all these other special interest dollars are going in other places, not into the kid's mouth. So the opposing party votes against it, but the other party is just like, look, they hate kids. They want children to starve because they don't want to pass this.
Yeah,
it's like people, wanting or not wanting the latest $3 trillion stimulus package.
Is it really a? Is it really? Is it really a stimulus? When I think stimulus, I'm thinking money coming to me. You know what I mean? Maybe I missed W. When back in the day,
they had more money going out of the country than stayed in the country by a long shot.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, final topic of tonight. Before we do house cleaning. Did you hear about the guy who leaked the story about President Clinton when he met Attorney General Lynch at the tarmac? Did you hear he quote unquote alleged suicide?
Alleged.
Quote unquote alleged. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I did, and the first thing that came to my mind was just put another one in the books.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
I've never seen a family so unlucky with so many of their friends and associates are committing suicide.
Right. Not to mention the fact that when you hear, I don't know, it just as soon as I heard, okay, yeah, well the reporter that broke, I was just hearing reporter that broke the story of, and then as soon as I heard Glenn, I was like, oh yeah, sure. Apparently he got he was receiving threatening messages before, or he had a lot, and like, so
much so that he relocated his family more than a handful of times.
Right. Just another one. Just another one. Everyone's like talking about getting suicided and all that stuff. That shit's like kind of fucking. I'm not saying it's the aliens, but
all I'm saying is I do not feel suicidal.
Exactly.
Not even a little bit.
Right. Again, me and Kaz are very, we're happy with our lives right now. At no time do we feel like self-harm at all. So the journalist who broke the story about the controversial 2016 tarmac meeting between former President Bill Clinton and then Attorney General Loretta Lynch was found dead Saturday morning, according to police. Man, dude.
Committed suicide, 3 bullet holes in the back of the head.
You know, I don't like fucking laughing about shit like that, but it's like, it's almost like Jim Carrey. Come on, you know what I mean? You've seen that meme before. The body of 45-year-old Christopher Sine, a news anchor for ABC 3340 in Birmingham, was discovered by Hoover police and fire personnel around 8 a.m. following a 911 call about a person down in a residence in Alabama. Hoover Police Lieutenant Keith Chesleba said Sine's death is being investigated as a suicide. Quote, our deepest sympathy is shared with Christopher's living family and close friends. We've lost a revered colleague whose indelible imprint will serve forever as the hallmark of decency, honesty, and journalist integrity. We can only hope to carry on his legacy. May his memory be for blessing. And that's
okay. They're really pumping this fella up. I'd like to see what they were saying about him 6 or 8 months ago, or even before the tarmac interception. Was he an honorable person? Did he bring all these good things to the table? Did people like him?
Mm-hmm. Well, he was a Dallas area native who played football at the University of Alabama and became an Emmy Award-winning reporter, so earning national headlines when he revealed the encounter between Lynch and Clinton on the 27th of June on 2016 at Phoenix's Sky Harbor Airport at the time when the FBI was investigating the former secretary use of unauthorized email servers in the presidential election in which she was the Democratic candidate. The meeting took place days before then FBI Director James Comey had announced that the Bureau would not recommend charges against Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton's wife.
5 years ago, that's quite a passage of time. Anything associated with the Clintons, I'm automatically suspect. I'm suspicious of. But 5 years, that's a good long time for things to. It's a good long time for things to pass and kind of settle down, unless the Clintons hold grudges and they're just like, hey, we're going to wait for 5 years and then we're going to do it. It is almost 5 years to the day.
Oh my God, you think about it, it is, yeah. That's a good point, Cos. That is a good point. Holy crap. June 27th. That is almost, you damn dude, yeah. Holy crap, yeah, you're right. It literally is almost to the day. June 27th, 2016. Wow. That's some fucking scary. I don't know. So us reporting this right now or talking about it, I'm just wanting you to know I am of good body and mind, and I love life. And, yeah. Nope. That story, according to some of his friends, that was like, I guess it was back in the day. When was it? I'm trying to remember when he had it. Is like they were saying that he had received significant death threats and having his credit cards hacked and creating code words to use with his children. So that's like that's insane, dude. It's insane.
That's some serious abilities to, hack a credit card. I know things are like out in the ether on the internet and stuff like that, but to have it happen over and over and over again.
And you know what I mean? It's almost like the same person I've had my identity stolen once, years ago. Once it's all fixed and I have put the right controls in, I've hardly had any issues. I've had some curious, inquiries, but they ended up being just nothing. But come on, frequent?
Yeah, it's not like every 6 months I'm getting a new credit card, debit card because someone it happens. It happens, but it doesn't.
Exactly. So real quick, I just want to give a shout out to our Army, 246th birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, happy birthday, bruh. Happy birthday, U.S. Army, and of course, also following, just happened to follow always on Flag Day. So today was Flag Day. That was the video that I posted right before we went on air. Tim Kennedy threw out a pretty good tweet and said the American flag. Did you see that one?
I saw his gay one.
No, not that one. This one, he threw out one that said, well, let me read it. The American flag has an extra special meaning to those who have fought for their country and those that have served and protected their communities. We fly them on our fire trucks. We put them on the back of our police cars. We have flown them over our Humvees as we roll to war. We have fought underneath them as they flew high and proudly on the fire bases in which we were surrounded by our enemies. We have draped them over coffins of our friends, and we have handed to them folded to the wives and mothers of our fallen brothers and sisters. On this Flag Day, I ask that you take a moment to ponder and to think about all the ways that beautiful flag has flown. The flag that fought racism against slavery, fought fascism, fought imperialism, fighting communism, and fighting terrorism. That flag is the beacon to the world as the symbol of freedom. The flag that was flown at the bottom of the two towers, the flag that was draped over the side of the Pentagon on September 11th, the flag that was raised on top of Iwo Jima, the flag that should fly in front of your house today and every day. Signed, Tim Kennedy.
He's got good words.
Yeah, he does.
He's not just a meathead. He's a smart dude who can put words.
Yep. So, anyways, with that, I'm gonna do some housekeeping. You don't worry about the lemon pledge. You don't have to worry about that. So, obviously tonight you listen to the Monday edition. Tomorrow's Pop Culture Warrior with Michael Carrasquillo, CQ, and of course the Uncultured Radar. And then
aren't they off this week?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, good. Thank you. God, good looking out. They're off. That's messed up. They're off. Yeah, they're right. They are off. They won't be back until next week. However, we got Sergeant's Time coming up with me and Spanky, and then 22 June Rob Paulson. He's the voice actor that again Raphael Donatello from the 1987 and 2012 animated series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Man, I can't wait. He's also played Pinky from Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain. Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, and the spin-off series The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. Peck, the Rooster from Barnyard and its spin-off television and series Back at the Barnyard. And of course, Spike in the Land Before Time films and television series. And he was also played the title character in the Mask animated series. So in total, Paulson has been the voice for over 250 different animated characters and performed over 1,000 commercials, receiving a Daytime Emmy Award and Outstanding Performer in an Animated Program, and 3 Annie Awards for his role as Pinky. And then Friday, Rodney Harry's going to be on your show on the 25th.
Yes, he's a VFW over in the Cincinnati area.
Yeah, dude, he's going to come on and talk about how COVID. He was talking about what his Fourth of July Freedom Fest that they're currently the only in the greater, I guess the only one in the greater Cincinnati area. And he's going to talk about how COVID has affected the cancellation of 2020's event and how it'll affect 2021's event and how things are starting to get back to normal. So,
I think America's ready for that. I think we're going to see larger celebrations.
Right, exactly. And then on Monday, for the Monday edition, Darianne Lay, country music singer. She was highlighted on CMT. She's a fan of the station. Wants to come on here and shoot the breeze to talk about her latest single, 10,000 Miles, which tells the tale of military households and loved ones across the nation derived on her own experience. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Do we have her music in our library that we can play?
You know, I'm going to. That's a good idea. I think I'll grab that because I think I was thinking about seeing if she'll let us play her video of it. But yeah, well, we should ask her. I mean, we could ask her. I mean, she's a fan of the station, so why not? But anyways, and then in about, I would say, the beginning of July, myself and Spanky are going to be taking a leave of absence because we have a lot of life things going on. Coincidentally, there's like a rumored thing that we're quitting or something. No, we're not. That's not the case. That's not happening. It's just things are happening that I need to detach the system for a minute, and then I'll get it hooked back up. You might see me on a location at a meet and greet. As a matter of fact, there might be some meet and greets scheduled. You'll see on the calendar, and you also will see a couple videos posted here and there, maybe some real quick live cast on that. So again, I'm not out. I'm just disconnecting all my systems so I can do some other shit, and then I'll reconnect it again. And when that happens, then we'll be back to normal broadcast scheduling for the Monday edition and Sergeant's Time. So it's going to be like CQ, and it's going to be man, God, you're going to be like, you two are going to be the workhorses, man. It's gonna be cool.
Just us.
Yeah,
we can do this.
Yeah, you guys totally did. You rocked it before, so
we have a great audience. We have really good support on the staff. We have really good support in our audience. So I don't have any fear at all.
Exactly. So at any rate, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for shooting the breeze and dropping your comments in the chat. It is appreciated. It helps the stories and the show flow pretty good. So with that, thank you guys so much for hanging out. And other than that, Kaz, you got anything to say?
We'll see you on Thursday.
All right. Shots.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. And now they say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the Hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planets of America. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. The critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course, Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun. Yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.